welcome to Las Vegas Speedway. My name is Josh Hall. We're here with Intensity Broadcasting with live flag-to-flag coverage of the iOS Cup Series Round of 8 cutoff race here at Las Vegas. Qualifying is underway, and we're getting ready for a great battle here. I do apologize. I just realized that I did not have everything updated on my side. There we go. And right now we got qualifying underway. So we're looking at Michael Provo on track right now. Currently Chris Wheeler up to the point. As he comes across the line, does he better his time? It looks like he does. He's going to continue to stay up at the pole for now. Michael Lawrence out on track as well. Running a little different look that we normally see out of Cheeseburger. Kyle Mays out on track as well. Well, we got qualifying underway. Let's take a look at our point standings real quick. After Talladega, Colin Willems locks himself in. Isaiah Gill sitting back in second. Brian Nudie, Chris Wheeler outside the bubble right now. Eddie Morris, Bobby Mays, Brian Dees, and Kyle Mays. Kyle Mays, Brian Dees, both in must-win situations. Bobby Mays and Eddie Morris can have a good run here and knock either Brian Nudie or Chris Wheeler out of it, as it's real tight up there. Only 5 points separating third through sixth. As we take a look at our team standings right now, and Operators Racing is still continuing to lead those team points right now, but only by about 11 points over Carolina Sim Racing. So we'll have to see how things shake out throughout the rest of the season, because we have 2 races left before we crown ourselves a champion. Colin Willems out on track, getting his qualifying underway. And 1 second, I have to cover my screen for just a second. And we are right back with you here. Just had to adjust something on my side here. It's Colin Willems. Looks like he's going to qualify in the 4th position at the moment. See who else is on track right now. Stephen Black just finishing up his qualifying attempt as we speak. Don't forget, if you haven't already, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe here on Intensity Broadcasting. Let us know in the chat who you're pulling for tonight. As we know, Colin Willems already locked into Stephen Black. Finishes up his car right there. Let's see who else is on track right now. Brian Nudie just finishing up his laps here. Joe Wright out on track. I apologize for the little hiccup there as my screen switched over between things right there. Joe Wright comes down pit road. We see Cody Moore out on track. Making his qualifying attempt. Currently in the 15th position, comes across the line. And he's going to move himself up into 8th fastest. Right down on the line. And Las Vegas, a bit of a tricky track. It's got some bumps that you have to look out for, especially in the entrance to turn number 3. Cody with a really low line into turn 3. See, that kind of pushes him up the track there. As he comes across the line here, he's going to move himself into... He's going to stay right there in the 9th position. Devin Buccino out on track right now. Buccino going to be taking the green flag right here. Start his qualifying attempt. And this is the Maze Construction 180 here at Las Vegas. And I was hoping to have our playoff drivers with some highlights here, but was not able to get that for us tonight, so I do apologize for that. I was working hard on trying something different. So Buccino up to the top of the board with a great qualifying attempt. Isaiah Gill out on track. Another one of our playoff drivers. Isaiah's going to come across the line here for his first lap. And he's able to keep it right there, locked on the bottom, as you like to see, the shortest way around the track. Opens the wheel up. Bobby Mays up into the 2nd position. Michael White up the 3rd. Isaiah Gill coming off the turn number 4 for his first lap. Let's see where this puts him down on the apron. It's going to move him up into the 19th position so far. Let's see what he can do here on his 2nd lap. Again, right there, hooking that white line all the way around the corner. Wide open into turn number 3. Great looking line right there off of turn number 4. Down on the apron across the stripe, and Isaiah Gill is going to move up into the 4th position. And that's about going to do it here for qualifying. As that wraps it up as we speak. So let's take a look at your starting lineup here. Again, Devin Buccino in the 68 machine. He'll be rolling off first with Bobby Mays to his outside. Row 2 is going to see the 09 of Michael White and the 2 machine of Isaiah Gill. 3rd row, you're going to find the 27 of Brian Dees, another one of our playoff drivers, and Kyle Mays in the 55. Another playoff driver trying to make their way into next week. Back in 7th, you'll find the 74 of Brian Merle Jr. and our locked-in driver, Colin Willems. He's locked in as he won the race last week at Talladega. And Stephen Black and Chris Wheeler, 2 more playoff drivers, sitting back in row number 5. Row 6, Eddie Morris and Brian Nudie, 2 more playoff drivers. trying to race their way in tonight. In 13th, we're going to find the 52 of Cody Moore, and then TJ Floyd to his outside. Joe Wright in the 82, rolling off 15th with Michael Provolt in the 95 to his outside in 16th. William Walter Witt the 5th, rocking that Dale Earnhardt Budweiser car, sitting 17th with Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence in the 18th position. Rounding out row 10, the 16 of Nick Mather and the 84 of Dave Wright. Todd Mays in the 25. He'll be rolling off 21st with Brandon White 22nd. And Sylvan Seguin in the Kellogg's machine, rounding out the field here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Las Vegas, your typical mile and a half, kind of cookie cutter super speedway. Nighttime, not a lot of humidity, nice cool track. We should see these guys have plenty of grip here. As we get ready for some playoff action. Again, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe, no matter what channel you're watching on tonight. As the pace car gets ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Darren Bacino is going to lead them back down to the line. Green flag racing is in the green flag's in the air. We're racing here at Las Vegas, and a great jump for Bacino on that bottom side, but Bobby Mays not going away up on that high side, and you can make that high side work here at Las Vegas as they come through turns 1 and 2. Isaiah Gill trying to force a 3 wide. Here comes Kyle Mays up on the high side. He's going to make it 3 wide up there with Isaiah Gill and Bobby Dees down on the bottom. And we see the 09 of Michael White get a great run through the corner to shuffle Bobby Mays in the 3rd position. Here comes Brian Dees down on the apron trying to get around the 5 of Bobby Mays, and we are 4 wide further on back. As here comes Stephen Black with a great move, trying to make some moves here, 3 wide as Eddie Morris down on the apron. Able to hold on to it. He's going to lose a ton of positions, falling all the way back. Meanwhile, up front, Bobby Dees is trying to work all over the back bumper of Bobby Mays. I'm sorry, that's Brian Dees and Brian down on the bottom, trying to get a good run on Bobby. Further back, Cody Moore looking to the inside of Isaiah Gill. Isaiah gets a little loose, trying to avoid the contact, and Cody Moore trying to make some moves here early on these fresh tires. Kyle Mays looking to the inside of Isaiah Gill. And we got Chris Wheeler back there, another playoff driver, trying to move on to the next round. Up front, Devin Bacino still being stalked by the 09 of Michael White. As they come down the backstretch, you see Bacino trying to break a little draft. Oh, we got one around in the back. Looks like Isaiah Gill and TJ Floyd. The yellow flag does not come out, but let's see if we can see what happened between these two. As TJ... Oh, Isaiah comes off the corner. Hits the wall. Looks like he came down into TJ. So we stay green. As Brian Dees is already under attack from the 98 of Stephen Black. Stephen Black already gained 6 positions up into the 3rd position. As we see Stephen Black moving forward, as he loves these cars so much, he talks about it every chance he gets. And it shows as he's moved up into the 3rd position. And now he's set his sights on the 09 of Michael White. A little further back, we got a battle shaping up with Chris Wheeler looking to the inside of Will Witt. with Brian Nudie and Joe Wright right there as well. There's Chris Wheeler around Will Witt. And Joe Wright trying to take advantage of Will up on the high side. But right now, your front eight, pretty much single file right now. Just logging laps as here comes Michael White looking down underneath Buccino. With a little push from Stephen Black. Stephen Black looking to the high side, trying to make it 3 wide down the front stretch. Here comes Brian Dees into the mix as well as they're 3 wide into turn number 1 with Stephen Black way up on the high side. Oh, Buccino gets turned around. He saves it. Now he gets into Colin Willems. Colin and him both go around. Buccino into the inside wall. No yellow. As Michael White now has Stephen Black all over his back bumper. So a tough break for Buccino. That's 3 cars we've seen make heavy contact with that inside wall and no yellow come out. As we see one of those cars, TJ Floyd, about to go a lap down as Stephen Black is trying to find his way around the 09 of Michael White. Take a look here from the bumper cam of Michael White. Stephen Black trying to get that great run. But Stephen just not able to get the run off the corner that he wants. Here comes So Stephen Black doing what he can here. As we see Brian Merle Jr. now try to come into the mix here to take away second from Stephen Black. So Merle having a great run here. Stephen Black is coming back, taking a look to the outside of Michael White. Is he going to have the run here off the corner? He's going to look down to the inside. They're side by side into turns 3 and 4. And a little side draft there between those two. That's allowed Brian Merle Jr. to get right into the mix. And Brian Merle Jr. was thinking about looking high, but he's going to tuck back in line. And Junior's got a great look at this, because he's got a front row seat to this right here in front of him. Junior now looking down to the inside with Stephen Black. He's trying to give somebody a push here, but just not able to do it. As we ride along with Junior. Oh, real loose out of that 09 machine. And a great view here in the turn. Oh, Michael Light gets loose. And he loses it. And that's going to allow Junior to get up into the second position. Now Junior's going to look at Stephen Black here as they come down the front stretch. What does Junior have for Stephen Black? While that's going on, that's allowed Bobby Mays and Brian Nudie to come up into the mix as well. So Stephen Black, oh, Junior, falling way back off the pace now. I don't know if he made contact with the wall or if something happened. He got loose, but he just fell from second back to fifth. That allowed Michael White to get back around, and here comes Bobby Mays taking a look to the back bumper of Michael White. Here's Brian Nudie now to the inside of Bobby Mays. As they're side by side down the front stretch. And with the stage coming up soon, these guys are trying to get as many stage points as they can, the ones that are in the playoffs. So Bobby Mays and Brian Nudie, both playoff drivers, trying to make their way up into the Final Four next week. And now Brian Nudie does get around Mays to move himself up into the third position. Get next week's finale at Phoenix, which is a short track, and we know how much guys like Brian Nudie and Isaiah Gill love the short tracks. Here comes Brian Nudie down to the inside of Michael White. Take the second position away. As we come across the line here, we come down the backstretch here. Next time we cross the line, we'll have just 4 laps left in the stage. Bobby Mays now looking down to the inside of Brian Nudie. And not able to make that work. And Nudie now looking to the inside of Michael White. Michael White, though, on that high side, able to get a great run off the corner. And Nudie just not able to get the run off the corner that he was getting before. Stephen Black just running away with it at the moment. As these guys are all battling for position behind him. Cassie Willems on Facebook says, let's go, Colin and Mather. So we have a great battle going up there at the front here as the stage is winding down with just 2 laps to go in the stage when they cross the line. Bobby Mays trying to get back around Brian Nudie. But just not making it happen. A little further back, Joe Wright now coming into the picture. Joe Wright looking to the inside of Chris Wheeler. As they're side by side here. So Joe Wright having a great run here at Vegas. We know he loves these 1.5-mile tracks, as he's going to get right around the 22 of Chris Wheeler and take a playoff point away from him. I should say a bonus point away from him. Now Michael White has Brian Nudie all over the back bumper. Nudie's going to look up to the high side here. And he's got a great run there off the corner. He just pulls right alongside Michael White here. Can Nudie keep that high side working? As they rocket down the backstretch side by side. And Nudie moves himself up into the second position. But as we come across the line here, the yellow flag will be coming out. Brian Nudie's going to move himself up in the second place for the end of the stage. So Stephen Black will be your stage winner. Brian Nudie in second, as there's the yellow flag for the stage. Michael White third. Bobby Mays fourth. Brian Myrtle Jr. coming home in fifth. Chris Wheeler in sixth. Joe Wright seventh. Will Witt eighth. Eddie Morris clawing his way back to ninth. And Cody Moore coming home in 10th for the stage. So Stephen Black stealing that playoff point as he is no longer in the playoffs. I want to just double check before I stick my foot in my mouth there. Yeah, that's correct. Stephen Black no longer in the playoffs. So your playoff drivers that got points, Brian Nudie got 9 bonus points. Bobby Mays got 7 bonus points. Chris Wheeler is going to get 5 bonus points. And Eddie Morris is going to get 2 bonus points. So, great job for these guys getting those bonus points. Now we're going to see if anybody takes a trip down to pit road. And we do. Everybody's going to come down to pit road here. It's like the entire field coming down pit road. So we'll hopefully get to catch the race off of pit road here. As Devin Buccino, our pole sitter, still waiting to come on the track. And it looks like your race off is going to be Stephen Black by just a hair over Brian Nudie. So that's going to make a big difference here. It's a great battle off to get Stephen Black back out in front. Brian Nudie almost got him there at the line, as it looks like most of the field took fuel only. Kyle Mays looks like he decided to might have had some damage on that machine, because he was in the pits for quite a while. I don't see any damage to that car, but yep, it's a little scraped up on the right side there. The right rear fender caved in a little bit, so it might have made some contact with the wall. He's going to come back down pit road, see if he can get some more damage fixed. Same with TJ Floyd. Todd Mays coming down to pit road. I believe he's just going to come in and top off. He should be on and off pit road pretty quickly. So Stephen Black, your leader. Brian Nudie second, Michael White third, Bobby Mays fourth, Chris Wheeler, Brian Merrill Jr., Joe Wright, Will Witt, Eddie Morris, and Cody Moore. Your top 10 pretty much coming off pit road the way they went in. I'm trying to give you guys a couple new camera angles tonight. A little bit of motion cameras here on these cars to give you a little better view of what's going on the racetrack. For instance, if we run here on the back bumper of Stephen Black, we can rotate that camera around, give you a better view of what's going on the track around him. So I hope you enjoy a little better camera work here as the lights are off on the pace car. Stephen Black is going to choose the inside line. Brian Nudie to the outside. And Michael White squeezes his way up on the high side there. He should be down on the bottom. Yeah, as he's going to be restarting in third. I thought maybe he thought we were using the choose rule or something, but he's going to be down there restarting right behind Stephen Black. as we re-rack them, restack them, get ready to refire them here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Stephen Black's going to lead them back to the restart zone. Pace car is going to take the hard left-hand turn on the pit road. And we're going to go back racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Stephen Black down to the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. And a great jump from Stephen Black. As Stephen Black is going to get right out to the lead. And here comes Michael White looking down to the bottom side of Brian Nudi, trying to take that position away. Bobby Mays right there as well, ready to pounce in case these two make a mistake and get together. Brian Merrill Jr. trying to fight back here to the inside as well, as he's looking to the inside of Chris Wheeler. We know Jr. and Wheeler have had some bad blood between each other in the past. Let's see how they race each other here, as Jr. trying to give a little push to Michael White, but he's fallen back as Brian Nudi has moved himself up into the second position. And as I mentioned, Bobby Mays pouncing up into third. And Michael White does not look like he's having a good time right now, as he's sliding backwards. Almost gets into the side of Joe Wright there, as he continues his backward slide. Joe Wright and Will Witt going to drive right around the outside here. Here comes Eddie Morris up to join the party as well. So Michael White looks like he's almost trapped on that bottom side, as he's doing nothing but going backwards right now. And he's holding up that inside line, as you can see, because Eddie Morris is moving his way as well. Michael Proval thought about making it 3 wide for a second. Cody Moore now all the way down on the apron trying to get around Michael White. Michael White does get slid up into that high lane, and you see Eddie Morris kind of liking that middle line. He's been running there most of the race now, and Cody Moore and Michael White almost make some contact there. Up front, Brian Nudi's got a mirror full of Bobby Mays as they come down the front stretch. It's allowing Stephen Black just to start running away a little bit. Joe Wright looking to the inside of Brian Merle Jr. They come off of turn number 2. Joe's got a great run on that low side, but Merle's going to fight back. And we've seen the high side at Vegas does come in, and it can be very racy at times. But I think as these tires get older and older, you're going to see the bottom lane really be the preferred line around. Here's Will Witt coming into the picture as well. Will trying to get around Junior. He's going to pull a little slide job here up. No, he's going to... Will Witt's going to stay down on the bottom. So a great battle going on here for 5th place. And it looks like Brian Nudi is starting to cut into Stephen Black's lead just a little bit. Last time by was 0.3. Stephen Black's running a great race here. Drove his way up to the front after having not the greatest of qualifying attempts. Started in 8th, drove himself up to 1st. He's continuing to stay there. Brian Nudi up 10 spots. Joe Wright and Will Witt, both big movers, 11 spots each. And down the backstretch, that lead now is starting to grow a little bit. Chris Wheeler now was just looking down to the bottom side of Colin Willems. Colin sitting back in the 10th spot. Well, now 9th as he goes around Michael Provolt. So Willems on a tear here now, making up some positions as he's going to set his sights on Cody Moore. And Michael White. Michael White's falling back to the 7th spot now. Michael White's starting to make his way back through the field. Looks like he's got those tires back up the temperature where he wants them. As we see Cody Moore looking to the inside of Brian Merle Jr. And there's Colin Willems sitting in the back of this pack as well, trying to make his way forward. Oh, Will Witt gets down on the apron just a little bit, slides up the track, and that allows Colin Willems to get a great run here off the corner to get around Will Witt. So Colin, after having not the greatest of starts and falling back quite a bit, starting to move his way forward. And now he's trying to get around Brian Merle Jr. here. Some tight racing here up front. Willems right there to the inside of Junior, just not able to make it work. Now Will Witt back to the outside. So a great battle here. This is for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th right now. As Willems finally gets a good run here to get around Brian Merle Jr. And he's going to try to set his sights on Cody Moore. TJ Floyd, after getting his damage fixed, moving his way back through the field. Currently up into the 10th position, trying to move his way forward. Looks like TJ might have taken tires and a fresh car under that stage break. Stephen Black now. Brian Nudi's got that lead down yet again, and Stephen Black kind of teasing him every time Brian Nudi gets within 0.2 seconds. It seems like Stephen Black hits the afterburners and starts pulling back away. Kyle Mays working his way back through the field as he's looking to make it 3 wide here around Eddie Morris and Chris Wheeler. Just got around Michael Provolt, take over the 14th position. Kyle, we saw, had some damage earlier. He's starting to make his way back up through the field. And Uncle Todd Mays, following Kyle right back through the field. TJ Floyd looking all over the back bumper of Will Witt. And TJ's going to look down to the inside, but Will's going to have that run off the corner. So Will's taking a look, or sorry, TJ's taking a look now down to the inside. And TJ's going to take that position away from Will Witt. Brian Nudi now has taken the lead while that was going on. And let's look back here to see how he did it. He passed him looking to the outside going into turn number 1. And Brian Nudi just drives right around Stephen Black. Stephen tries to push him up the track just a little bit, but Nudi able to get that great run off the corner to take the lead away. Stephen Black now trying to look to the outside of Nudi down the backstretch. And Bobby Mays joining the battle here as well as he's moved himself up into the 3rd position. So Stephen Black fading back a little bit here, maybe trying to conserve tires or seeing that the race might go green flag for quite a while, maybe saving a little bit of fuel. As he's got Bobby Mays all over his back bumper now. Cody Moore looking all over the back bumper of Joe Wright. And we know Cody and Joe have some bad blood between them after what happened at Michigan a couple weeks ago. Joe Wright staying right there in front of the 52. Doing all he can. Cody looks a little bit to the high side here. Tries to get that run off the corner so he can pull a crossover. There he goes, looking down to the inside. But Joe Wright continues to fight back on that high side, and he's going to clear Cody Moore yet again. And now Cody Moore and Colin Willems going at it as Colin has gotten around Cody. As we look off the back bumper of Joe Wright at the battle behind him. You can hear how much Joe's having to lift there in the corner. So Joe Wright having a great run up into fourth. Stephen Black, though, has been passed by Bobby Mays and moved Stephen Black up into the third position. And again, Stephen might be saving a little bit. Let's ride along with Steve. Let's see how early he's lifting and if he's saving a little bit of fuel here. It looks like he might just be fighting a tight race car right now. Cody Moore, Joe Wright, TJ Floyd, Colin Willems falling back behind TJ Floyd now. I think TJ might be on fresh tires because he's been one of the quicker cars on track the last few laps. And we're still seeing that as Cody Moore now gets around Joe Wright. Joe Wright trying to cross him back over here. Now he's going to tuck back in line. So move Joe Wright back into the fifth position, but still up 10 spots from where he started. So a great run for Joe. As we mentioned, Joe really likes this track. As we see Sylvain Seguin come down pit road to make his first pit stop of the night. Let's see if he's going to take some tires here. Yep, looks like the right sides are going up. So Sylvain's first car to come down pit road to take tires and fuel. I know the fuel run is about 35 laps or so. These guys last pitted on lap 26. So we should start seeing cars coming down the pit road within the next 5 to 10 laps. As Brian Newty continues the lead over Bobby Mays. And Bobby Mays, one of the drivers, having to have a great run here to move himself into the next round. Again, Colin Willems, who's currently sitting in 7th place, is locked in to the next round. After his win at Talladega. As Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence also hit pit road, taking tires and fuel. And you can see who's pitting down at the bottom of the screen. Now Stephen Black getting passed by Michael Lawrence. Michael Lawrence again on fresh tires, so here's a real good look at what fresh tires can do. As Michael Lawrence was able to drive right around, was trying to drive right around Stephen Black, but into the corner there. You can see how much more speed Cheeseburger could hold through the corner. Eddie Morris now on to pit road to get his service done. One of our playoff drivers, our first playoff driver to pit. As Brian Newty continues to lead, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of these guys might try to short pit here a little bit earlier than running it all the way to the end. As these guys are going to have to come in and make another pit stop as Michael Lawrence unlaps himself. And Brian Newty seeing those fresh tires out there, seeing what they can do, and he's kind of licking his lips going, you know, I'd like a set of tires like that as well. So who is going to be one of our first leaders to come down pit road? Chris Wheeler also in pit road, our second playoff driver into the pits. Again, his service done. He's on his way out. So who else is planning on pitting a little bit early as we cross lap 60? So I imagine people will be coming down pit road in the next lap or two. Colin Willems on the pit road, along with Isaiah Gill. So two more playoff drivers hit pit road. Especially these guys who've been running laps up front. I'm sure they're going to have a little bit less fuel than some of the guys who might have been running in the pack. Cody Moore now on the pit road. And Michael White hits pit road as well. So pit road becoming a busy place. As Brian Newty continues to stay out. Bobby Mays, Stephen Black. Stephen Black kind of coming back to these two up front here. So I imagine somebody's going to be coming in the pit here momentarily. No, they all stayed back out for another lap. David Wright hits pit road, so he's our next taker on into the pits. So I was told the fuel window was about 35 laps. Bobby Mays peels off from second place to hit pit road, along with Joe Wright hitting pit road as well. But Brian Newty, Stephen Blacks continue to stay out on track. And there are a couple drivers like Kyle Mays and Brian Dees, Devin Buccino, who went in and topped off before the last green flag run, so they can go just a little bit further. Stephen Black hitting from second place now onto pit road. Going to leave Brian Newty out on track all by himself. So I imagine Newty will probably be coming this lap, if not the next lap. Newty stays out on track. It's kind of surprising as he's seeing all his competitors coming on the pit road, and they're going to be much faster than him. As he comes down the backstretch, Stephen Black already back out on track. Oh, we see those fresh tires, good for at least a second and a half, as it looks like Newty is coming down onto pit road. TJ Floyd follows him behind. That's going to give the lead over to Will Witt. The question is, where's Stephen Black going to come out here? And a couple other drivers, Cody Moore actually is past Stephen Black, along with Colin Willems. So our leader currently is the 25 of Todd Mays, and Kyle Mays right behind him, as those two both topped off under yellow. So they're able to go a couple more laps. Here comes the 84 of Dave Wright. You can see, though, just the difference in speed those fresh tires are making. As Brian Nudie comes off of pit road. And there goes Cody Moore on by. There goes Colin Williams on by. Where's Stephen Black? There he is. Stephen Black goes on by. Kyle Mays now hitting pit road. So another one of our playoff drivers on the pit road. Todd, who is not in the playoffs. The only Mays that's not in the playoffs here in the iOS Cup Series, now coming on the pit road. So that's going to give the lead over to Cody Moore. But a hard charge in Stephen Black already coming around Colin Willems. Those 5-lap fresher tires that Stephen Black have, you can definitely see making a difference already. As now Stephen Black is going to look at Cody Moore, try to take the lead back away. Gets the draft, gets a good run all the way down to the apron. Stephen Black is going to take the lead back. Now Brian Nudie can see the leaders up in front of him. Question is, can he run him down? As Eddie Morris and Michael White are battling right now. Eddie recovering, having a great run, currently up into the 6th position. And he needs a good run if he wants to move on to the next round of the playoffs. Again, 3rd through 6th, separated by 5 points. And then Brian Dees and Kyle Mays are going to have to win to move on. Chris Wheeler and Isaiah Gill. Isaiah caught up in an incident earlier, climbed his way back up into the 10th position, but needs to have a good finish in order to move on, as he's only 5 points ahead of Isaiah Gill. So from 2nd on to back to 6th is 10 points. As we know, Colin Willems is already locked in, so it's a tight battle for who's going to move on to the next round of the playoffs. Stephen Black, not a playoff driver, in cruise control up front. Colin Willems, as we mentioned, already locked in, just in cruise control, logging some laps and trying to get some bonus points for the next round. If he was to win again, he could get a little playoff point, bonus point, and have a little better cushion going into the Phoenix race. As we see Brian Merle Jr., who was running up front early in the race, then got into some issues, caught the wall, and slid way back behind. Currently a lap down, running back in 19th position. Devin Buccino, your points sitter, your pole sitter, who got turned around early in the race, has climbed up to the 12th position, so he's making his way back up through the field as well. Eddie Morris has TJ Floyd on his back bumper. And TJ looking down to the inside to take that 7th spot away from Eddie. Brian Nudie has just split through the field here, got through the lap car of Brian Merle Jr., went around Cody Moore and Colin Willems, and now he's a 2.5 seconds back from Stephen Black, trying to run him down. So we're just past halfway. We're 15 laps past halfway. Stephen Black still leading the race. But is he going to have the same issues he had earlier where he burned off the tires and fell back into the clutches of Brian Newty and Bobby Mays? Not sure what happened to Bobby Mays. Bobby currently sitting back in 22nd, a lap down. Looks like he had a long pit stop. Wonder if he was speeding coming onto pit road. Let's see if we can tell if he was speeding coming onto pit road here or what happened. He had him locked up hard coming into pit road, or if he was just getting damage fixed on pit road. I'm not sure what happened. Very conservative entry into pit road. So maybe getting some damage fixed, and that's why he was on pit road for so long to get a lap down. But as we speak, Brian Newty has cut that lead down to under a second. And you can see Brian Newty right there. You can see the gap between these two as we look from the blimp. And Newty slowly catching Stephen Black lap after lap. Right now, Brian Newty is running about a tenth faster than Stephen Black is. Even though Stephen Black's got the lap car of Michael Provolt giving him a little tow down the backstretch, Brian Newty is still continuing to close in. And now Brian Newty within a half a second of Stephen Black. And folks, guess what? Brian Newty is there. He's just got the lap car of Michael Provolt to get around, and there he goes, and now he is right there. He has caught Stephen Black. Now the only question is if he's able to pass him here. As we see Brian Newty having a great run off the corner, able to pull him down the backstretch. Newty down on the apron, now looks up to the high side. Not able to make it work. Now Newty goes to the high side. Newty's going to take that position away from Stephen Black. A little further back, Eddie Morris and Isaiah Gill going at it side by side. Eddie able to clear Gill here for a second, but Gill's fighting back on that inside line. And now Gill's going to get right around Eddie Morris. Is Eddie going to try to battle back here? A little further back, we've got a battle going on between Brian Dees and Will Witt. This is back for 8th and 9th position. At the same time, Will Witt is catching Michael White. Will Witt's working that inside lane, Trying to get a good run here. He's getting a big push here from Brian Dees. So Stephen Black easily makes the move around. Now Dees trying to get around Michael White. So a great battle going on here for 7th, 8th, and 9th. And here comes, that's Bobby Mays, but unfortunately, again, Bobby is a lap down. But he's making his way a little bit through the field here. Trying to get back up there. Michael White now to the outside of Brian Dees. Trying to get a run here. And he's going to get right around Michael White. Up front, Stephen Black. Has Michael Provolt trying to look to his outside. I know Provolt is a lap down. He's the first car a lap down. So Brian Nudie now setting the pace as he's pulled out to over a 1 second lead on Stephen Black. Brian Dees still looking at the back bumper of Will Witt, trying to get that position away. So a great battle on track. Here, battles all over the track as we're winding down here in our cutoff race to see who moves on to the round of 4. Isaiah Gill, gets a little loose off the corner, all over the back bumper of Chris Wheeler. Trying to break his way up into 11th, right behind Kyle Mays in the battle as well. Todd Mays in a battle with Nick Mather. Again, Uncle Todd not in the playoff battle, but we know Kyle Mays, Isaiah Gill, and Chris Wheeler are all in the playoff battle here. And Isaiah's trying to have a good enough run to move into the next round. Again, only 10 points separate him from 6th place Bobby Mays. Bobby not having a great run tonight, falling back into the 21st position. Again, Brian Dees and Kyle Mays in must-win situations tonight in order to move on. As this battle continues out on track, Isaiah doing everything he can to try to move himself on to the next round. A little further up the road, Will Witt still has Brian Dees all over his back bumper. But Dees just not able to get a good enough run to try to get around it. Eddie Morris hits pit road. Silva Segoin also on pit road, so we know that these guys are going to have to pit one more time. As Joe Wright is starting to catch Colin Willems for that 4th position. Joe's been just a little bit faster than Colin the last couple laps, and he's starting to reel him in lap after lap. Try to move himself up in the 4th as now Joe Wright actually hits pit road. So this is going coming off pit road. Stephen Black, making a big move. Not sure what happened, if Stephen just got loose or what happened there. Stephen Black goes around Eddie Morris here. Eddie's going to move back to the high side, I think. I'm going to take this opportunity to reset the camera on Stephen Black's car. Maybe. Oh, you see Steven really sawing on the wheel there. I don't know if he's having some issues or what's going on there. Just want to ride along with Steven here for a second and watch him work the wheel here, because we saw him saw it on the wheel down the backstretch. I don't know if he maybe caught a couple marbles or something happened there, but his car was all over the place as Devin Buccino, Colin Willems, TJ Floyd, Will Witt, and Dave Wright all hit pit road. It looks like Steven's having a little better time with the car now. Brian Newey's been passed by Eddie Morse, so Eddie can get his lap back. Cody Moore now down on the pit road. Isaiah Gill on pit road as well. As we have just 23 laps to go, the question is anybody going to take tires? Or are they taking fuel only here? As we see Cody Moore on pit road. Again, right sides put on the car. Left sides do go up, so he's taking 4 tires. And the yellow flag is out. And surprisingly, Colin Willems, the victim. Not sure what happened to Colin here. We're going to have to bring up our wreckage rewind to see what happened to Colin. As Colin was racing with Joe Wright. Oh, Colin gets loose, overcorrects it hard into the wall all by himself. Able to keep it up the track and avoid further contact, but let's ride along with Colin here and see if the car just snapped loose or what happened there. Is, yeah, you just see the car just snapping loose, overcorrecting, and head on hard into that outside wall. So that's going to bring the entire field down to pit road. Let's see who wins the race off pit road here. Brian Newdy, Stephen Black, Brian Dees, Kyle Mays. I think Todd Mays was still on pit road getting some damage fixed. There goes Todd. And Nick Mather also coming off pit road. So that's going to give the lead back to Brian Newdy. Coralie Mather and Abiana Dixon say, let's go Nick Mather and Colin. Looks like Sylvain Seguin staying out in front of Brian Nudie here, so he's going to get a wave around here along with Eddie Morse to get back on the lead lap as they just pit. Same with Will Witt. Bunch of cars who are just on pit road staying out to get back onto the tail end of the lead lap. Brian Merle Jr. just leaving pit road. Colin Williams says hashtag cold tires. So that's what happened to Colin. Cold tires definitely made a difference for him. Looks like he is going to park it for the night, I believe. As he didn't even need to really race tonight. He was just looking for some bonus points and some security going into the final race at Phoenix, as he already has himself locked into the playoffs. So Brian Nudie is going to lead him back to the green flag here. It looks like he's going to choose the inside lane as we see all the cars getting the wave back by. There's only a handful of drivers were there to pit, and look who is up into the 4th position. Kyle Mays, again, needing a win to get into the next round. Playing a little strategy, getting the yellow to work out in his favor. Now he's got fresh tires. He's on the same strategy as the leaders, and he's right up there at the front. Nick Mather also up there on that same strategy. So a couple drivers, fresh tires up front here, who haven't seen the front all night long, could play a factor here. As we get ready to go back green flag racing, Brian Nudie will choose the inside lane. Stephen Black on the outside, then Brian Dees and Kyle Mays. Again, Brian Dees and Kyle Mays. That second row, they are both must-win drivers at this point. Pace car pulls off. Brian Nudie hits the loud pedal. We are back green flag racing. And Nudie gets a great jump on the rest of the field. Brian Dees down to the bottom. Looking to the inside of Stephen Black. And Dees is going to take that second position away. Kyle Mays now also trying to take that position away as he's right there on Stephen Black's back bumper. Stephen Black looks back down to the inside. And Stephen Black is going to take second place back away. No, Dees is going to fight back on the high side. While those guys are side by side, that's exactly what Brian Nudie wants to see, as it allows him just to pull away. And then Nick Mather just kind of biding his time there, seeing if anybody makes a mistake in front of him, and allows him to get up into position and into contention to win away from one of our playoff drivers who are trying to win to get in. Kyle Mays showing some patience now. But you can see he wants to go as these guys continue to run side by side. Here goes Kyle now down to the inside of Dees, trying to make that thing stick down there. He's going to slide back up. No, he's going to slide back down. He's not sure. He's being indecisive on which lane he wants to take now. While that's going on, Stephen Black has cleared that group, and he's setting his sights on Brian Nudie. Kyle Mays now up into the 3rd position. And he's setting his sights on Stephen Black. Oh, he gets real loose there. Catches the apron, has to check up, but able to save it. Throws a big block down on Nick Mather, and that allows Brian Dees to get down to the inside of Mather to try to take that 4th position back away. Meanwhile, up front, Stephen Black is starting to run Brian Nudie down. We have just 14 laps to go. Who's it going to be to move on to the next round, as Brian Nudie is trying to lock himself in with a win? Having a great run. Actually running up in the top 5 is really all he needs to do to secure it on to the next round. But he's a racer. He doesn't want to just settle. He wants to win it here tonight. Stephen Black not in the playoffs, but doing what he can to try to win one here. And then Kyle Mays, who needs a win to move on, sitting back in third position. Brian D is now falling back to the fifth position with Nick Mather getting around him. And that hurts his chances because he needs every point he can get. As he is 23 points below the cutoff line coming in. So every point that he can get can try to guarantee him a spot in next week's race at Phoenix. Kyle Mays getting loose again on that bottom side, but able to get some speed there. It looks like he's starting to gain on Stephen Black, as Kyle Mays was actually the fastest car in this group last time by. And Abiana Dixon says, "Let's go, Dad." As Nick Mather now looking to the outside of the 55, trying to take that third position away from Kyle Mays. And try to take away Kyle Mays' playoff hopes here. As Kyle Mays is currently sitting 7 points back of the cutoff line coming in. And Nick Mather's going to move right around him and set his sights on Stephen Black. So Nick Mather having a great run here. Oh, we got a contact and a wreck in the back. Todd Mays hard up into the wall off the front bumper of Brian Dees, and he's able to keep it straight. No caution is coming out. So Brian Nudie continuing the lead. But Stephen Black a little bit faster. Nick Mather and Brian Nudie both running as identical times, 30.5. Stephen Black a 30.4. So Stephen Black just a little bit faster right now. And then Brian Nudie, but can Brian hold on for the win and guarantee him a shot at Phoenix? 8 laps ago here at Las Vegas, and yellow flag is out. It looks like David Wright having some issues here. That's going to bring up our wreckage rewind, and let's see if we can see what happened to bring the yellow flag out. Oh, we see some hard racing back here between David Wright and TJ Floyd. And it looks like going into the corner, TJ just slides up the track, catches the 84, goes for a long slide, doesn't hit anything, so no damage to that machine. But that's what brings out our caution. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This changes everything. Especially with Kyle Mays sitting back in fourth. Brian Dees sitting back in eighth. Brian with some damage, though. I don't think he's going to be able to be in contention here. Isaiah Gill moved up into the 9th position, so as of right now, I believe he's going to be safe to move on to the playoffs, as Brian Dees is going to come down pit road. I believe take 4 tires, fuel, and get that thing fixed up. A couple other cars on pit road. Todd Mays, Eddie Morse, Devin Buccino, Will Witt, all on pit road. Let's see if Brian Dees was able to save his reset and he's able to get a brand new car right here. No, he used his reset earlier in the race, so he is not going to get a fresh car. See Buccino putting some tires on the car. There's the race off of pit road here as Eddie Morris is going to get by Will Witt. But Kyle Mays back in the 4th spot. trying to get a win to move on to Phoenix. Nick Mather sitting in third spot, trying to get a win to get his first iOS Cup win. Brian Nudie trying to secure his spot into Phoenix. Came in third in points. Let's just to refresh everybody's memory what our points looked like coming in here. Colin Willems in green because he was automatically locked into the next round. Isaiah Gill, Brian Nudie, Chris Wheeler were currently above the cut line. Chris Wheeler is currently sitting back in the 17th position. He is the first car one lap down. Eddie Morris just pit. He's currently in 11th, so he's going to have fresh tires for this run. Bobby Mays in 6th in points. Currently a lap down, sitting in 19th. So you can pretty much count him out of Phoenix. Brian Dees, well, he's back in 16th after having some damage brushing the wall. And Kyle Mays sitting back in the 4th position. So a couple drivers trying to do what they can to win here and move on. Again, Brian Nudie looking like he's going to be comfortably in the next round. Isaiah Gill as well, sitting back in 8th place. The question is Chris Wheeler, Eddie Morris, who's going to be that 4th and final transfer spot? Or can Kyle Mays pull off a victory here to move himself up? As it looks right now, if I was to put my money on it, I'd put it on Eddie Morris. Eddie just pit, got fresh tires, and those fresh tires can make a big difference here, as he's going to have almost 20 lap fresher tires than our leaders. So Eddie Morris looking cool, calm, and collective in there, trying to do what he can to move on into the playoffs. As the lights are off on the pace car, we're getting ready to go back green flag racing. Brian Nudie choosing the inside lane. Stephen Black on the outside. Nick Mather sitting in third. Kyle Mays in fourth. Can Kyle make a desperation move to move forward? Can Nick Mather get his first win? Can Stephen Black win in his favorite configuration of the Cup car? We'll find out in about 3 laps when we go back green flag racing. Pace car takes that hard left-hand turn on the pit road, or he's about to. There he goes. Brian Nudie leads him back to the restart zone. Green flags in the air. Great jump from Brian Nudie and great jump from Nick Mather. Nick Mather trying to look to the inside, Stephen Black. And Nudie got the big jump. That's going to allow Stephen Black to try to have to chase him down. Brian Merle Jr. with a good run here through the corner. He's trying to get to the back bumper of Kyle Mays. And Cody Moore up in the mix as well. Stephen Black already to the back bumper of Brian Nudie. Brian Nudie and Stephen Black, oh, contact. Nudie up the track. Yellow flag is out. And I'm not sure. Oh, it's for Todd Mays. Spun around on the backstretch. That's going to bring up another wreckage rewind. Let's see if we can see what happened here. Well, we got a gaggle of cars back here. including Eddie Morris back here as well. And as they come off of turn number 2, oh, Buccino, might have been a little bit of net code there, but Buccino gets up. Oh, so Eddie Morris gets a little contact there. I don't know if it's enough to hurt him, but that's going to send Todd Mays through the inside grass here. And it looks like, I think Michael Provolt had some issues here as well. See what happened to Michael Provolt as he was coming up on this, and he, just goes through the grass to avoid the wreck. I'm curious to see how much damage there is to the 8 of Eddie Morris. It's actually right along with Eddie here to see what he saw and hear the contact. Might not be a lot here. I think he's going to stay out, which it looks like he did. You take a look at that 8 machine, and it looks like it's actually pretty clean. So maybe no worries to the driver of the 8 machine. But Brian Nudie up at the front. As we're going to be getting set here for a green-white checker. Take a look at Brian Nudie and that All-American fire suit there. Is he going to have enough here to hold off Stephen Black on the start? Lights on the pace car are still on. So we're going to have at least one more lap to go. Before we're able to settle it here. And see who moves on next week to Phoenix. So lights on the pace car should be shutting off this time as they come across the line. And Stephen Black is going to be forced to the outside as Brian Nudie is going to continue to take that inside on the start. Nick Mather and Kyle Mays still sitting in that second row. Both of them trying to win to move on to Phoenix here. Can one of them play spoiler? Sorry, Nick Mather out of the playoffs. I take that back. So Kyle Mays trying to win to move on to Phoenix. Can he play spoiler as Brian Dees has fallen all the way back to 14th? And it looks like his playoff hopes are over at this point. Eddie Morris back in 11th. Hoping to have a good run here. He's actually hoping that they kind of stay where they're at now because he, I believe, would be locked into the next round if they finish the way that we're sitting right now. But here we go. We're getting ready to go back green flag racing here at Las Vegas. A green-white checker attempt. Pace car takes the hard left-hand turn on the pit road. And Brian Nudie right back to the gas pedal. Green flag back in the air. And Nick Mather already again trying to get to the bottom of Stephen Black here. This time he's going to do it. He's going to get down to Stephen Black as they come into turns 1 and 2. Here comes Kyle Mays. And oh, there's contact. Kyle Mays sent around. Hard contact. Oh, Bobby Mays involved as well. And that is going to bring out another Wreckage Rewind. And that is going to do it for Kyle Mays' playoff hopes. As we see Cody Moore throw it real hard down into the corner. And Kyle comes down into Cody as Kyle was trying to throw a defensive move there, as again his playoff hopes were in line. Oh man, Joe Wright able to sneak through that thanks to Brian Merle Jr. knocking the 55 out of the way. And here comes the two other Mays brothers getting involved, both Todd and Bobby. And man, what a heartbreaker for Kyle Mays. Again, this is the Mays Construction 150, and all three Mays cars were caught up in that incident. So Dean Qualley says, wow, on the Facebook feed. I agree. And I know there's been, I'm not trying to throw anything out there, but I know there's been some bad blood between Kyle Mays and Cody Moore. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it there, but that is going to end Kyle Mays' chances of a championship and moving on to Phoenix. So the final playoff spot, as we see it right now, is between Chris Wheeler and Eddie Morris. Chris 1 point ahead of Eddie coming in. Eddie is currently in 8th place, and Wheeler is currently in 14th as Todd Mays' motor expires on the backstretch. So as we sit right now, our top four are looking like Colin Willems, Isaiah Gill, Brian Nudie, and Eddie Morse. As long as Eddie can finish 2 positions ahead of Chris Wheeler, I'm trying to remember if Chris got any playoff points. Dean Qualley says Discord will be great tonight. I tend to agree with you there. As we're under caution here, I'm trying to do a little quick research to see if Chris Wheeler or Eddie Morris got any playoff points, because that's going to make a big difference in how we settle the score tonight. So Chris Wheeler got 5 playoff points. Eddie Morris got 2 playoff points. So after this stage, there was 4 points separating them. So Eddie has to finish 5 spots ahead of Chris Wheeler. And currently, he is 7 points ahead of Chris Wheeler. So this is going to be an exciting one here for Eddie Morris. Eddie's got to do what he can to either stay where he is or move forward and hope that Chris Wheeler does not advance his position. Lights on the pace car are off. We're going to go back green flag racing this time by. Yes, Callan, I just got my calculator out. It was actually a pen and paper, and I was counting on my fingers and my toes. I had to take my shoes off. Fortunately, those extra toes come in handy. I grabbed my abacus. As the pace car takes that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Brian Nudi taking the outside this time. Green flag is back in the air. And he gets a great jump off Nick Mather with Isaiah Gill to his outside now. Stephen Black gets loose. And Devin Buccino trying to play spoiler now. Eddie Morris moving up through the field. Eddie Morris trying to get around Stephen Black, trying to help himself here. Buccino, we're 3 wide down the backstretch with Isaiah Gill, Nick Mather, and Buccino. And some contact between the 16 of Mather and Buccino. Buccino moves himself up into second place. We got Isaiah Gill going through the grass. White flag is in the air. Brian Nudi with a half-second lead over Buccino. Now Nick Mather back up into the third spot around Stephen Black. Stephen Black trying to do what he can. Looking to the inside. Mather not going to get there. Stephen Black almost gets in the back of Buccino. Now he pushes way up the track. But your winner tonight and locking himself into the next round, Brian Nudi. Devin Buccino comes home second. Stephen Black third. Nick Mather fourth. And Will Witt comes home in fifth. Eddie Morse in sixth place, with Eddie coming home in sixth. Chris Wheeler came home in ninth. Chris Wheeler is going to be your final playoff driver. Incredible, as Brian Nudi is your winner. Although Isaiah Gill may not have made it, as Brian Nudi Isaiah did not get any stage points. He fell back to 13th. I'm going to have to do some math here, but great run for Nick Mather here as Brian Nudi continues to celebrate his win here over Stephen Black at Las Vegas. Let's take a look at your final results here. As Brian Nudi takes the Polish victory lap around Las Vegas here. Brian Nudi, your winner. Devin Buccino coming home in second after taking the pole, getting spun early, and driving his way back up to second place. Stephen Black comes home third. Nick Mather fourth. Will Witt comes home in fifth. Eddie Morse in sixth. Joe Wright seventh. Michael Provold eighth. Chris Wheeler comes home in ninth. And Brian Merrill Jr. round out your top 10. As we're getting ready to do some interviews here, let's pull in our third place finisher, Stephen Black. Stephen, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
I got you, Josh.
Man, great race tonight. Overall, I know it wasn't the win you were looking for, but Nudi seemed to be a little bit faster than you there on the long runs. I saw you having some struggles and getting kind of loose there at some times. Were you fighting in the car? Because I saw you kind of weaving down this front stretch at one point. I don't know if you were just fighting the car or trying to get some heat in the right rear tire or what you were doing there.
I was just trying to get some heat in the right rear tire to see if I could get loose at all off the corner because I was just plowing everywhere. So I know I had about a second lead over Nudie at one point, and then Provolt got in front of me, and it cut the lead down by like half a second. So it was just really frustrating.
Yeah, it seemed like the dirty air really seemed to hinder your progression forward as the race went on. But overall, a pretty good race. I know you're not a playoff driver, but trying to steal the win tonight. But other than that, how else did your race go, or did you have a pretty good strategy coming in?
I thought I had a good strategy. I just wanted to stay out in front, and it just didn't work out like that. Um, I, I'm I think you mentioned that I'm a big fan of this car, so yeah, I thought we were on a good strategy. It just didn't have the clean air that I needed.
For sure. Well, before I let you go, Steve, anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs you got to give?
Yeah, shout out to you for broadcasting every week. I always enjoy going back and watching it. Shout out to Brian and Sylvan, the other two admins here. Shout out to Grandma Hagerman. I don't think Logerman was in the field tonight, but shout out to her still.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on a third place finish. And how do you like your chances next week at Phoenix? I know you're not in the playoffs, but a short track, have a chance to get it done?
We'll see if I make it. We actually get some horsepower and no downforce, so I should be pretty all right there.
All right, see. Well, again, congrats on third place, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Now we're going to pull in our second place finisher, Devin Bacino. Devin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Josh?
Man, tough night for you, starting on pole, getting turned early in the race. Able to drive back to a second place finish. I know you were on newer tires than Brian Nudie there, and you were able to show that if you had a few more laps, you might have had him. Is that what you were hoping for? Just a couple more laps to get up there?
Yeah, I think we came down and took our set on lap, whatever caution was around lap 110, I think it was, and we were getting good restarts. We just didn't get enough green in at the end there. Had to make some dicey moves. I apologize to Todd. There wasn't that code, but it was just a racing thing. I had to go for it. That's not like me. And I hate that we got loose in the center there on, I think it was lap 12 in front of everyone. But I am sick of running Vegas after the last 2 weeks. I mean, it's so wide open. It's really tough to race. I mean, and there's times where if you lose the draft of the cars in front of you, you actually fall back. It feels like, because you're pretty much throttled down. There isn't much you can do. So I'm happy to get out of Vegas.
Yeah, trying to play a little spoiler here in the playoffs as well. And it seemed like over the race, the track actually changed as the tires went on. It seemed like people were able to run the high side there more towards the end. Is that what you were feeling as well too, or is it something that just seemed to be who was running where at the time?
I tried the top, but I was pushing really bad center exit, so I actually started just backing up super early, and it was all about throttle control center off. So I was still running the bottom. I'm sure it wasn't great for my tires, but we were pretty far back, about 15 seconds off the leader, just outside the top 10. So we were just looking for anything we could, and that pit stop on lap 80, we kind of made our bed to hopefully have a set at the end and just came up a lap short.
All right, and before we let you go, anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs you got to give?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for doing this over at Intensity. You for doing this, Josh. Level Up Subs, New Craft Fine Jewelry. Yeah, I appreciate you guys for doing this.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the second place finish. And as we move on to Phoenix, do you like your chances there? I know you're not in the playoffs, but how do you like your chances at the short track?
I like it a lot. It's a really racy track. I mean, there's so many ways you can attack the entry and the exit, and that dog leg's going to be treacherous all night, so should be a good one.
All right, Dan. Well, again, congratulations. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Josh.
And your winner tonight, the man of the hour, the man, the myth, the legend, Brian Nudie. Brian, you got Josh in the booth. You got me?
I got you, buddy. How's it going?
How's it going for you? You had quite the burnout there on the front stretch, showing the Polish victory lap, which I love, being a big Alan Kwiecki fan growing up. And, man, just coming back to win the race, beating Stephen Black and his favorite car and one of his favorite tracks. I mean, it's got to feel good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Steven just loves these cars just over and over and over again. I mean, he just it's his favorite package, the 550 package with the extra downforce. You know, he loves slot car racing, and he loves these cars, and it's just amazing
Yeah,
how
and
much he loves these cars.
I know he talks about it all the time. And a great run for you. You were already sitting third in points, but a nice way to secure yourself into the round of 4 next week at Phoenix. Were you expecting the run to go green flag that long there at the end? And did those cautions toward the end kind of make you nervous?
The cautions definitely made me nervous. I definitely wanted it to go green flag the whole way. I definitely felt like, I had the best car in the long run. I didn't really know like just the way these cars are. Just they're just flat out. So it's kind of really once you are the leader, it's hard to pass if you're in second. So that's why I just wanted to definitely try to get a great jump, but I definitely didn't want any of those cautions. I wanted that race to go green the whole way, and then that definitely made it a little stressful, but still able to get the second win on the season for the Cup Series.
Awesome, man. And moving into Phoenix next week, how do you like your chances at Phoenix?
I'll have to look and see who my competition is, but I like it. I'm just worried about the main guy. I'm worried about is Isaiah because that is his home track.
Yeah, and I've been trying to work my abacus over here, and unfortunately, my statistician over here isn't able to get me the numbers quick enough. All I know is it's a really tight battle between the 3 behind you, and between Isaiah Gill, Chris Wheeler, and Eddie Morris. One of those drivers will be out. So the way I'm looking at it right now, I believe Eddie is out, but Isaiah didn't get any stage points. Eddie and Chris both did. So it's going to be tight. As we know, there was only, 6 points separating. No, 2 points separating. No, I'm going to take that back. It was 6 points separating Isaiah Gill and Eddie Morris. So a tough, tight track, or a tough tight points battle there coming up. But anybody you want to thank before we let you go? Sorry, I'm just rambling on.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Yeah. Oh, as always, I got to thank my beautiful wife for letting me do this. It was her birthday last week. Winning these races in dedication to it. It's 2 nights in a row. And I'm not running the truck series the rest of the season just because of work and everything like that. So I had to drop out of that one. And then also got to give a shout out to Isaiah Gill and everybody over at Gill's Dump Truck Service and Pizzeria. Also got to give a shout out to Sharon. She's getting much better. I know everybody was worried. And also she has an Instagram page. You guys go ahead and over there and like it. It's Ugly Sharon or at Ugly Sharon, the cat. And she shows some great videos on there. It's pretty good.
Awesome, man. Well, we'll definitely be checking that out. And again, congratulations on the win. And hopefully we'll be talking to you next week.
Yeah, hopefully. All right.
So that was your race winner, Brian Nudie. Sorry to cut you off there at the end there, Brian. And we look forward to next week as we move on to Phoenix for our season finale. Again, we know Colin Willems and Brian Nudie are locked in. We will find out who the final 2 are sooner than later. I was hoping that maybe we'd see some points pop up here while we were doing the interviews, but it doesn't look like we have that much luck. So again, thank you for joining us tonight here on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Whether you're watching on Facebook, you're watching on YouTube, or on Twitch. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Intensity Broad. And as our boy Atlee, Atman Weiss would say, over